What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Mia and
Joseph.
with Ageless Vitality, bringing you great information for those of you in your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s who want
70s.
Yeah,
and 80s. Yep.
Who want to live well, age well, and experience everlasting intimacy. I'm Dr. Mia, your board-certified OBGYN at Bella Wellness Center in Birmingham, Alabama. And yes, we have patients from all over the country. At Bella, we offer gynecology to women and adolescents with a holistic and traditional approach to medicine, as well as hormone pellet therapy, intimacy services, laser hair removal, weight management, and total wellness with supplements for both men and women. Our goal is to help you live well, age well, and experience everlasting intimacy. And we are super excited about our podcast, Ageless Vitality. And today we're going to have a real good conversation about communication. See, this is one of the things we're going to talk about. Look at his face. Communication is not just what you say. It's also your facial expressions. It's also your gestures. Look at him. Just look at him. It's also how you say things, your body movements. Now, does he look like he's excited to be here for this podcast today?
I'm always
what
excited.
Are you communicating to me?
I can't even say. I don't know if I can say that and be not in trouble.
So just tell them about your wonderful wife and our great marriage, and then we're going to talk a little bit about during this time in life when you are going through this, what we call midlife journey, because we just not saying that we like halfway done or anything. It's the midlife journey, the most important part of life we're going through. But we want to make sure that we maintain healthy relationships, having great sex, aging well, and just enjoying life like throughout all the different stages. So whether you're in the peri or the menopause or the peri-andropause or whatever's going on, we want to talk about how you can keep your relationship healthy, communicate effectively, and live your best life. So where you want to start? Lovely. Let's talk a little bit about how we even got into talking about relationships and marriages. You want to start there?
Sure, why not?
Okay. How long we been married? Tell the people about your wonderful relationship.
Well, my relationship with God is unbelievable.
Come on.
My relationship with my wife is okay. But we've been married for 20 years.
20 years. 20 years, September of 24.
September what?
6.
You don't know.
September 6. I do know.
You have to think about it.
September 6.
Yeah.
20 years.
So we married 20 years. Been together 25 years.
Been together
right?
25 years.
That's a long time.
So the first time we went on a date, which wasn't really a date, we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
Almost every day. He just couldn't get enough. And he thought that he was not ready for a relationship when we first met.
I wasn't.
In our 20s. He said he didn't want a relationship. He had just gotten out of a relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to be out there. I was having me a hot boy summer.
He did think he was going to have a hot boy summer.
I was trying to have me a hot boy summer.
Did it work out for you?
It worked out.
How?
I mean, until I met you.
Right. Oh, well, you had the summer because it was like August.
Yeah.
It was August that we met, so the summer was over in Milwaukee. So you had your hot boy summer.
Yeah, I had my hot boy summer.
The lady of your dreams.
Sure did. I had to burn my black book.
Burn it.
Damn. Could have sold that black book.
But let's talk a little bit about effective communication.
Yeah, effective communication.
And relationships.
So how we got into it, the question was, how did we get into relationship building
Why is
type
it
of
such
stuff?
a big conversation for us?
It's so funny. I tell this story a lot. You knew Joseph and Mary Blankston, right? Which their name is Joseph and Mary, which is so ironic. But they had
like Joseph Mary. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Some people may not know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Like biblical Joseph and Mary. But they were having a marriage relationship, or I could say a couples Bible study.
Yeah, it was a couples
Bible study on Saturdays. It was a long Bible study too, but we covered a lot of stuff because it was like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we covered a lot of stuff. But it was teaching you how to be married in the eyes of God versus the world. And that's what it really was. It was God versus the world. Right. Yeah. So we learned a lot about
how to be happily married according to the word of God, not by the worldly belief of what a good marriage is too. I mean, both of them. I'm just saying, like that was that really stood out for me, because what I thought a great marriage was before I understood it from the word of God is totally different from how I view marriage now.
Right. So that being said, we went to the classes and everything, and we always have had a great relationship. So, but it did teach us a little bit more about. It taught me a little bit more about myself, and
my role.
Yep. And how to communicate, and which was the things that we never even
thought about,
took into consideration in being in a relationship. Of the major part of communication and stuff like that. So that's why we focus. I think we focus a lot now on communication, because the two number one things for and I think communication number one for divorce is communication and finances. So
it still boils back down to some of the communication.
Yeah, it's communications, right? It boils back to communication. So that's how we got into it, and then from there we've had seminars and small groups and stuff like that, and we read a lot of books on it and covered a lot of books with our small groups. So
and really tried to share with the other people our age because I didn't know anything about half the stuff they were talking about. Like for real, I was doing marriage all the way wrong. Remember, we first started reading through it, and we were talking about the role of a woman in a relationship, the role of the role of a wife, and the role of a husband.
Right.
And mind you, I'm like this real feminist that. During our wedding vows, I told him that he could not say honor and obey.
Right.
I had him to change the way the vows were said.
Which you were supposed to write your own, because it wouldn't have been said anyway if you had written your own, which you requested that I did.
You bringing up all stuff.
No. You brought it up, the vows. You were supposed to write your vows.
I was.
And you told him, don't say obey or honor, which if you wrote your vows, he would have said it anyway.
As I would have told him what to say.
No, you
I would have just said it.
Right, you just said it. But you didn't write yours.
I didn't.
I wrote mine.
That's right. Have I ever apologized for that?
Maybe not.
I'm so sorry. See how we've grown in our relationship from 25 years ago, from the bottom of my heart. I am so sorry because I made a really big deal about him writing his vows.
That was the funniest moment, though, because when he was when he asked me for my vows, and I said them, and then he asked you, and he was like, do you have your vows? And he was like, no. I was like, are you serious? You asked me to do this and you don't even have yours? So I think our relationship is different from any others because we are pretty much out front of anybody, like people know.
Pretty honest.
Yeah, we pretty honest in our relationship. So
pretty direct.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was hilarious. So I apologize. So effective communication, even if it takes you 25 years plus.
Right.
Or 20 years plus, you can still apologize for those things that you may have.
But no, so what helped us was, what helped us was being able to help others understand how to communicate with each other. And then understand, like this is the first institution developed by God. So, institute by God. So being able to help people understand, it's not great.
What?
Like, it's not always going to be great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
marriage, I always say,
tell me what is.
Right.
Like,
what in life is always
what
good.
in life is always good.
Right, right.
So if you're, I think the most common thing we tell people is to lower your expectations and raise your commitment. And part of that is being an effective communicator.
Right.
So which is hard.
And because the hardest part of communication is listening.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part. And also the hardest part is if you care for a person, you may not want to say what needs to be said to spare their feelings. Right.
But you actually hurting them more.
You hurting them more by not saying it. Right. By not saying it. So
right.
I think being an effective communicator and just being able to talk to the person and know that regardless of how easy or how difficult the conversation is, it still is done with love.
Yes,
You know,
and respectfully.
Respectfully. And
with
so that's
love.
that's just a hard part. And so for us being strong personalities, and I can take more abuse than you can, obviously, because I'm still here. But for us being strong personalities, you know, conversations can get heated between us.
Right.
You know, but I think things have subsided over the years, just knowing how to communicate, or at least being able to take a step back in the process.
Right.
You know, so.
And then I think too, like, I learned to just not always react. Because you can't control what your partner does. You can only control your response to it. So my response used to naturally be whatever I was feeling in the moment. And as I've grown and matured and had a whole bunch of therapy, like every 2 to 3 weeks, I have learned that I don't have to react to everything. And I've learned that in marriage, it's not about being right all the time. Being right is not really what's important, but making sure your partner feels loved and respected should be the point focus of every relationship. But it's not something we were taught. We are just so adamant about it because both of us are products of divorce.
Yep, absolutely.
Both of our parents divorced. Joseph's parents divorced at a very young age.
Right.
At 3, my parents divorced when I was 16 years old, which is a god-awful time to go through such a change in life, but we made it through.
Yep.
But I just always said,
you was just getting over being funny looking.
yes, like for real. I was just like cute. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Smart and confident.
Y'all want to go and get divorced?
Right,
What's
and
wrong with y'all?
divorce
You know,
and changed my whole
Right.
lifestyle. But anyway, so we knew we didn't want our children to ever have to endure that.
And you know, and we had to learn. Like we were committed. You know, I think I was saying last night to somebody. You know, I made a commitment to God for this relationship.
Right.
You know,
There's
so
no way out.
Right. So
death.
I'm trying you first, but I'm trying to. I mean, if we got die to get out, I want to stay.
Right, yeah, 'cause I don't know
You don't
how-
want to be 100. I do.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't want to be 100 for real.
Because you have to remember everything for me.
I mean, I got to remember everything for you now. So
Right,
it's
so
gonna change.
imagine at 100, you ain't going to have as much memory.
We pay somebody.
I can't live without it. I don't think I could get along. It's a lot of things that you don't realize that you do for me.
Oh, I realize. Oh, you trust me. That's true. It's work. This is work.
But we do believe in to death do us apart.
Absolutely.
And
So again, raise your commitment, lower your expectations. So that was one of the things we learned. And then once that clicked, we was like, you know something?
I don't think that was the biggest thing. I think the biggest thing was what you learned
What
as
I
a
learned.
man in a relationship.
What did I
do
learn?
you always say your job in our relationship is? You have to do what to yourself?
Oh, yeah, to crucify yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was the biggest.
And I do that like 30, 40 times a day.
Right. Because marriage is made
this
to make
relationship.
you wholly not happy. Did y'all know that? God did not create marriage to make you happy.
Me and God need to have a conversation about that.
God
'Cause
created marriage to
I
make
don't
you
mind
holy.
being holy, but can I be happy too?
You can be both.
Oh, okay,
but the
that's
point
it.
of it wasn't happiness. The point of it was holiness. And if you can get to the holy part of it, you can actually enjoy
Be
the
happy.
happy part of it.
Okay.
Because you like working on your relationship. I got to work on my relationship with God. You got to work on your relationship with God so we can work on our relationship together.
I don't think me and God are talking about you enough. I don't think me and God are talking about you enough.
What you mean?
We gonna have
You
that
pray
work
for
out.
me?
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I pray for you.
I pray for how I want you to
I
act.
pray for you
It
when
ain't
I'm not
worked
praying
yet.
for you.
Right.
But you know you have grown.
Thank you. How?
Yeah. Well, you ain't threw nothing at me lately.
I have never thrown anything at you.
Stop the madness.
Wouldn't I like to hurt you?
Oh, you got to be crazy.
When?
You don't remember?
That's
you
old
don't
stuff.
remember.
That's old
You know-
You know, I don't have no good memory, so I always be like, I do not remember that. I do not remember that. And then
You
they
don't
know I
remember
don't
that?
have a good memory, so they just tell me stuff happened, even though it may not have happened just
No,
like that. But they know I
nobody
can't
ever
argue
lies on Dr.
'cause
Mia.
I don't have a good memory.
No, nobody ever lies on Dr. Mia.
But okay, again, go back to how I've grown.
You've grown. You've done
Right.
very well. Very well.
But it's because I've learned to be more respectful too. And one thing I have learned about having a black husband in America is this one place they can go where everybody love them. Their house. That's it. As soon as they get out of the door from your address, they go into a whole world that just really hates them. So I learned that what I wanted for my husband is to have peace at home and to be able to come home and feel respected, because a lot of black men don't feel respected when they go out in these United States of America.
Right.
So I try to make sure
Facts.
I create a safe
Big
haven
facts.
for my husband, because I know he's not going to get it anywhere else, whereas I may be able to experience that outside of my household.
So let's get back to communication.
Communication.
Because men are from Mars and women are from Venus, right? You know,
We do think
you
differently.
said something today
What?
that was so, I'm not going to say so woman because that would be
Yeah.
generalizing. you
Right.
guys. But it was so
Sexist.
what a lot of women think.
What?
You told Jamil you supposed to hear my thoughts. What did you say to him?
Oh,
today?
yeah.
You supposed to know what I'm thinking.
Right, I did.
Yeah. Why do you think
right,
that?
that's bad communication.
Why do you think
But
that?
you so smart, you know a lot of stuff, but you know half the time what I want. But that is right, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's not right.
Yeah,
We gotta communicate
I
what we
know
want.
because I've been down this road a few times.
Right, we have
So,
to communicate
yeah.
what we feel. We
Yeah.
have to communicate. We can't assume.
Have to be clear too.
Yeah, you have to be
Can't
clear.
assume. You
Like,
cannot assume. And I think that's one of the things that men and women, because we do communicate different. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know, for me, I need what time, where about, who. You know, I need the specifics. You know, but that's not how you communicate.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
No,
I'm not a great communicator.
You communicate when you talking to your girl on the phone and you assuming I'm listening,
Yeah.
and then you be like, "You heard me talking about it." I go, "Why am I listening to you and your girl on the phone?"
Right.
I'm not registering that even has anything to do with me.
Right.
You know, so I think being clear about what you're trying to say, and if it's a heated, because it doesn't have to be a heated situation. I want people to understand that when you're communicating, it's not always bad communication in a heated situation. Sometimes it could be just bad communication in something
general.
that you're trying to do every day.
Right.
You know, so in that aspect, you know, just being clear and making sure a person understand. And again, part of hearing is, or part of communication is hearing and listening.
And that's
you
the
know,
hardest part.
And that's the hardest part. And also listening without a response, because we work together. So, you know, we meet together and everything. So a lot of times we're communicating about what's going on in the business,
Right.
you know, and you talk a whole lot. So I have to listen to a whole lot of what you say, you know, but that doesn't mean you're communicating unless we document it and then do what needs to be done.
Right.
Then it has been communicated what you said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And making
So,
sure that your partner understands
understands it,
what you're
1000%.
saying.
Yeah.
So I think another good thing that I have learned.
and like you said something a few minutes ago, not to interrupt you, was assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't ever assume you understand,
Right.
and don't ever assume I understand. Like
Right.
if you're talking to me, I shouldn't assume that you think I understand. You know, I should.
So basically, I should have you to repeat what you
Yep,
feel like
what
I'm
I
saying,
heard you
especially
say.
when it's a
'Cause
topic with level 5 communication,
Yeah.
a difficult topic where it may be that you're telling somebody something hard,
or
that
just
could
important, not
possibly-
difficult.
Yeah,
important. Yeah, because I don't want people to think that communicating or bad communication has everything to do with something bad going on.
Right. It could be something good
it
going
could be
on
something
that's not
important,
communicated
but just wasn't.
effectively.
It wasn't, and you know, communicating, you know, effectively, like you said. So I don't want people to think when you talk about communication, it's a bad situation going on, and that's the reason for the interruption, I guess, in a relationship. No, it could be something minuscule, but it wasn't communicated properly, and it probably became a bad situation because it wasn't communicated properly.
Right.
It could have been avoided if each other had
And both of us
communicated.
understood
Right,
the
both
same
understood
thing.
the same thing.
And it
Because
has to be
sometimes you'll say
intentional.
something, and I think you said,
So totally, because that's why we started doing it.
Right.
Because we learned that when we were doing our classes, and so then I would start saying, "So he'll say, what did you think I just said? What
Right.
do you think I just said?"
Right.
And then
It'll
probably
be something
50%
totally that didn't
of the
even come out
time,
my
it was
mouth.
something totally different. And
It didn't even come
wasn't-
out my mouth, yeah.
And the way I repeat what he says is how it made me feel.
Right.
But that wasn't even necessarily the way that he said it. So I think also communicating to your partner what bothers you.
Yes.
Because a lot of stuff I just assumed that Joseph knew bothered me. I had to start telling him, babe, when you do that, it makes me feel like this. You know, I know that may not be your intention, but my experiences, you
Right.
know, we all have our stuff from growing up and what you saw in your household or what you saw in your grandparents' household. So you decided how you wanted to be treated in the marriage and how you wanted your marriage to be. So I think intentional communication which requires good emotional intimacy. So you're having those difficult conversations about your past, about what's going on, about your feelings, about how you feel, and even going as far to talk about how that person is, coming off to you. The changes that we're noticing. We're going through a midlife journey now. We got some changes going on. I got like real mental health issues in my family that I fight every day to make sure that they don't affect me personally. So I take my medicine, I do my hormone therapy. But if Joseph sees me getting to a point where, for example, I'm taking more drinks than I normally take, he's not going to not communicate that to me. That's important, a communication. He'll say, hey, we need to chill out with the drinking because it seemed like you're drinking a little bit more lately. It hasn't happened lately, but it has happened in the past. But I mean, being able to communicate everything. So even in intimacy, if you're noticing a difference, you don't feel like your partner is,
And there is a nice way to do everything.
In an appropriate time.
Yep, appropriate time.
Take into account your facial expressions, your tone, your level of voice, your body movements. Like, it's so much involved in communication. It's such a complex thing to be able to do effectively, and then to do it lovingly. I think that's the bottom line. We got to all focus on being as loving as we can, giving our partners the benefit of doubt, because I don't think you're really trying to do anything to harm me or hurt me intentionally.
Right.
But if I don't tell you that it's making me feel a certain way, you don't know, so you don't know to correct it.
Don't know.
Yeah, so communication is hard.
See, I can tell you though.
Yeah.
You.
And some people do think that it's rude the way we talk to each other, how direct and blunt we are. But at the end of the day, I'm never concerned about how Joseph feels about something that I'm doing, because he's already told me. And then he's never concerned about how I feel about something he's doing. Now, I don't say that everything that happens and bothers me, I tell you, because I don't think that's important. If it's not affecting me negatively, or it's not a big deal, it's not going to change anything. I don't bring up every little thing that you do that bothers me, because there's quite a few things I haven't mentioned. But the things that are, it's not, it really isn't, and it's the stuff I say all the time. Like, could you just be nicer when you talk? Or why are you being so mean?
Absolutely.
Or harsh? And that's his personality. He's a harsh, direct Yankee. He is from the North. He's not super friendly, though he's a nice guy and he talks to everybody. He just has a way, and it's a very dominating. And then on the other hand, I'm a different kind of woman that was always a feminist. So like all of this stuff, but it's all about learning how to understand each other and then communicating.
I refuse to let you run over me. And back
that's
up.
Good, because I probably wouldn't like him if he did.
Yeah, I refuse.
Right.
I tried to let up on you, and you beat me into the ground. I was like, oh hell no. We ain't doing that no more. She didn't went crazy. Okay, no.
But you have to understand.
Yeah, you gotta, hey, I love my wife.
Tell me that, like, hey, you can't do this. This is not gonna work.
No.
Like, this is how this make me feel. I'm a man. Like, I am a man. Like, so you can't talk to me like I'm a boy. But, I mean, if he never told me that, I wouldn't have known that I was offending him. And so once I learned that it bothered him, no matter how you think it's coming off or how it makes you feel, it's all about how you make your partner feel.
And here's the thing, whether wrong or right, you can't argue with how a person feels.
You can't argue.
Now, you can argue about what made them feel that way, but you can't argue about how a person feels.
Right.
Yeah, so when a person says, well, you can't never say, well, you shouldn't feel that way. But that's not true. Because this is how I feel, But what was the situation to make me feel that way?
Right.
Maybe I misunderstood that that made me feel this way. And if I understood that, then I could change how I feel. But you can't argue with how a person feels. You can only figure out why they feel that way, and if it's a fact or something they should feel that way about. So
you do have to communicate what makes you feel good too. So we talked about communicating the hard stuff and the bad stuff. But the other thing I've learned is communicating when you.
But that can be a hard conversation too, because it may be something that your partner's uncomfortable with.
Right.
So it could be good, but something still that they're uncomfortable with. Like, you did this. This made me feel like this.
But I will say, though, when you open my doors for me, like in the car and stuff, I know you always open the door when we're walking, but like when you open my door in the car and like come get me out the car, that makes me very happy.
That makes
me feel really good.
All right,
like,
I'm gonna pay somebody to start doing that for you.
Because I like to feel like you're taking care of me. You know what I'm saying? So when you do this, it just really makes me feel good. So I've communicated that now So next time I'll let y'all know if he paid attention to my communication, if it was effective, if he listened,
The
and then he
answer is
starts
going to
making
be
sure he
no.
comes and opens my door every single time because it just makes me feel good.
The answer is
I like
no.
acts of service, and I think too communicating your
love
love
language.
languages so
Oh,
people
man.
know how you like to be loved.
Now, I really think if you go down the love language road, you have to read the book.
Yeah.
You have to read the
The
book.
5 love languages. I think that's a
And
good,
the reason
easy
why I'm
book.
saying that
And
is
you can listen to it on
because-
Audible probably.
Yeah, listen to it on Audible, whatever, but pay attention to it because people learn their love language.
Yeah, from their experiences.
Right. But then try to treat people in their love or communicate with people
In their
in
love
their
language.
love language.
Right, because I do
Without
a lot of
knowing-
words of affirmation for
Right.
Joseph because that's what I like.
Right. And I don't care about that.
Right, but,
You
what
know,
he,
so-
but what he cares about more is what? Acts of service.
Yeah, acts of
His
service
is more of
and
acts of
physical
service.
touch.
And so have you noticed that I have been trying to do more acts of service for you lately? Like trying to cook and help around the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And,
You've been on
getting
vacation
you
for 2 weeks.
stuff And making your tea sometimes.
You've been on vacation for 2
Making
weeks.
you-
No,
You've been making tea
Making
for
see,
that
so
child of
my
ours.
love language is words of affirmation. So for me, what would make me even happier, not that I'm not happy now, but even happier is that when I do those things, he makes a big deal about it because that's just my love language. It's not my fault that that's how I feel
I'm
more
going to
loved.
hire Miles Band. The next time you do something, they're going to sit in the front yard and just play.
Okay.
Yep, just for you.
Okay. But yeah. So being able to communicate what you like to your partner, because if you don't tell them, they don't know.
You don't know.
They don't
You
know. And that's the
And
same.
again, you are assuming,
Right.
which is, we know what that is. You do not want to assume that your partner knows anything.
You have
wanna-
to tell them.
You have to tell them. And,
Like I
and
like
be
when
nice
you hold
about
my
it.
hand too when
Yep.
we're out. I like for him to grab my hand and hold it. And sometimes he look just like that and he don't want to hold my hand.
I do it anyway.
But he'll do it anyway. But sometimes he won't do it nicely initially. So we're gonna work on that. So he'll like grab his hand back from me when I like grab it. But good thing I have a really good self-esteem and he doesn't really hurt my feelings much. And so then he'll think about it and it's like, dang, she really like for me to hold her hand. So he'll hold
No,
me.
that's not what's going through my mind at all.
We don't want to know what's going through your mind.
But, you know.
So what are some things that you haven't communicated to me that you really
Oh,
like?
I communicate everything with
But
you.
tell me one thing that you can think of, like right now,
Mm-hmm.
that you can say, okay, Mia, I like when you do this. It really makes me feel good. That you can say on podcast. You can say anything on a podcast.
Yeah, on the
What
podcast,
you wanna
right.
Say, which I'm just saying.
Okay.
But so what's something? Can you think of anything you communicate? I've done all my communication. You can't think of anything?
No, because I communicate everything with you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think, what is it that there's not anything that I would say that,
So that's y'all's responsibility after watching this.
yeah.
Talk
Figure
to
out-
your partner.
Yeah.
Communicate some things that you really, really, really like about them, and when they do it, let them know that how good it makes you feel, so that they know to keep doing it. Because if somebody does something for you that you really like, and you don't tell them, they don't know to
Right.
keep doing it because you never said that made you feel really
Right,
good.
absolutely. And you know, I just, you know, I there's nothing that, you know, that you do that I would say you should do more of that, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Well, I tell you.
I mean, you cook sometime, but
Right.
that's something, you know,
So-
I appreciate when you do more than anything. And so,
but I think we wanted to have this discussion because we ain't got a couple of minutes left.
okay.
I think we wanted to really have this discussion because we're at the time in our lives when a lot of our friends are married and some of them are actually going through divorce or maybe hitting some rocky times in their relationship. They're
Going through
also
menopause.
in this menopausal
Yep.
stage and perimenopause. So things bother them differently, hit differently. Their
Right.
life is changing so significantly. Children are leaving. You know, so it's so much going on in this part of life. But let's make sure that we are taking time to practice emotional intimacy, communicate effectively, you know, tell our partners all the great things that they're doing, letting them know when it's stuff that bothers us based on how we feel. And just like communicating, but putting some real energy and time into preserving relationships as we transition through this difficult time for many in life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if we can communicate the changes in our lives and our bodies and our moods and our attitudes and things like that, we have the opportunity to gain information about stuff like hormone replacement therapy and stuff like that. Because if we're not telling anyone or even telling our spouses, then you don't have the opportunity to get that information that can help you,
That's right.
which will help you communicate better.
Right.
So.
And we'll talk a lot more about communication and the different
Absolutely.
levels of communication next time. But we hope that you got something out of this Ageless Vitality episode, where we are talking about communication, relationships, and the midlife journey and living our best lives, because our goal is to help you live well,
Age well.
and experience
Everlasting
everlasting
intimacy.
intimacy. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.